Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome inside SoFi Stadium. It is the Rams pregame show live from Inglewood on this Salute to Service Week 10 Sunday. So glad to connect our service members, their families, their loved ones, and everyone in the veteran community on this special afternoon. We'll have a lot on that topic coming up shortly. With Maurice Jones-Drew, I am JB Long. It's been 3 weeks since we've been inside this building, and now the Rams have a tremendous opportunity. Their second half of the schedule features 5 home games, starting today with a division contest against the 6-2 Seattle Seahawks. First place atop the division is on the line, and during this half hour or so, we'll have featured matchups, storylines to watch, and a whole lot more as we count down to kickoff. It's a national audience on Fox at 1:25 Pacific. But Maurice, as you survey the second half of this schedule, I know you like the matchups. You feel optimistic about the Rams' chances.
Oh, so much. I mean, when you talk about the way Sean McVay and Les Snead have built this roster and what they're able to do, you go and trade for Jalen Ramsey, and guess what? He has a tremendous matchup here against DK Metcalf. Aaron Donald leads the league in sacks right now, getting pressure from the inside. Offensively, you stumbled against the Dolphins, but these receivers and Jared Goff, they play very well against their divisional opponents. So it seems like, for me, you have a great opportunity to run the table here, not necessarily win every game, but play well in every game, go leading into a playoffs and possibly having a home playoff game.
We're looking forward to checking in with our Super Bowl champion, DeMarco Farr, also team reporter Serena Morales, as we continue here on the Rams pregame show. But let's start with the strength against the strength. The top scoring team in the National Football League is here, led by Russell Wilson, an MVP frontrunner. Brandon Staley and his Rams defense, they had a phenomenal first 8 games. But I think there's reason to question, okay, how will it look when you're going up against Russell Wilson instead of Tua, against Tom Brady rather than Kyle Allen? Do they have something to prove here today?
Oh, most definitely you do. And when you think about it, you have an opportunity to showcase your defense against one of the most explosive offense, one of the most explosive players in Russell Wilson in the National Football League, a guy that can scramble and make any throw, a guy can scramble and make any run and convert on first downs, and then in the red zone is accurate enough to break tackles and get the ball in the paint. So, with that being said, you get your rookie Jordan Fuller back, who's going to roam the middle. Don't give up any deep passes. Force Russell Wilson to dink and dunk down the field, which he doesn't want to do. Dink and dunk down the field and get a little frustrated and allow your pressure to get to him with Aaron Donald and company.
Like Jared Goff, he's also coming off a 4-turnover performance, speaking of Russell Wilson, and a loss against the Buffalo Bills. What a bye week it was for the Rams. Their idol and the other 3 teams in their division, Arizona, Seattle, San Francisco, all fall. That helps create and build this opportunity. All right, let's go to Goff next. He's had a long 14 days, hasn't he? He and Sean McVay did not deal with the pressure in Miami. They've been seeing a lot of blitzes. The Bears, the Dolphins. You would suspect again today against Seattle, because the Seahawks are not known for being able to get to the quarterback with 4. They did add Carlos Dunlap, but they are covering 0. They are covering 1, making sacrifices on the back end to try and create havoc on opposing quarterbacks.
Well, yeah, and I've been on teams that have lost before the bye week, and you hear all the negative media attention, all the stuff that you don't want to hear. But you know what? Jared Goff is handling it well. You just hope throughout this bye week and throughout this week of preparation heading for the Seattle Seahawks that you prepare for cover 0. Guys is lining up on the line of scrimmage and getting after your quarterback. When you can't cover on the back end, you have to try to affect the quarterback in other ways. The Seattle Seahawks have blitzed more this year than they have ever, I feel like. And you add Jamal Adams, one of the better safeties that can blitz and get to the quarterback and stop the run. So you have to understand, as a running back, as a tight end, as an offensive line, your task and your challenge at hand today is going to be stopping the blitz, allowing Jared Goff time in the pocket to get and attack these DBs downfield who are banged up and, quite frankly, haven't played well the first half of the season.
No, I know for the better part of the last 2 weeks, our audience has been saying, why won't they just run the ball? They got one of the best rushing attacks in the National Football League. Why throw it 60 times against that Miami defense? Well, here you come against the Seattle Seahawks, who have a historically bad pass defense. What a temptation that is for McVay and for Goff. But they have a chance to feast, because unlike Miami, with Howard and Jones had some great corners, now you see this Seahawks defense, and they've got nice safeties, don't get me wrong. But they are down their top 2 corners, and they have been vulnerable to passing attack.
Yeah, you still want to be balanced, though, and I think that's the one thing the fans have been craving for. Be balanced. Run the ball 30 times, throw it 30 times. That's what you're looking for here. And in this situation, those 30 passes may be explosive plays because, again, you run after the catch with your wide receivers. I say this, Jared Goff is phenomenal on play-action pass when he's able to get out of the pocket and see the field and stretch the field with his arm and players running down there. Try to get back to that. Now, when you have trouble, when guys have trouble, that they're going to blitz off the edge a little bit, and that happens. But run the ball, try to get Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Josh Reynolds on these DBs one-on-one and allow them to play, just catch, because that's what it's going to end up being at the end of the day. But you have to run the ball to get them to respect that, so it opens up the passing game.
One of the many things the Rams have going for them here today, they are the healthiest team in the National Football League. We've already touched on it a little bit. They've won the injury report for this Week 10 contest. In addition to the players we mentioned on defense for the Seahawks, starting center Ethan Posick also won't be able to go as we send it over to DeMarco Farr. That does not bode well for their chances against Aaron Donald.
Well, I don't care who you have. It's always going to be tough with Aaron Donald coming the other way. But this is so much fun, man, when you think about the Seattle Ram rivalry. If you go to the coaches, you've got Pete Carroll, one of the oldest, and Sean McVay, one of the youngest. You already mentioned the Jalen Ramsey versus DK Metcalf. That's worth the price of admission. But the only matchup that really matters is really Aaron Donald versus Russell Wilson. So I'll give you the non-analytics type breakdown of these two performers on game day. When one plays great, usually the other one doesn't. So if Aaron Donald gets to Russell Wilson, it bodes well for the Rams' chances to win. You see the stats there, 12 games, 12 sacks. And by my count, if you get Russell on the ground, the amount of times that Aaron actually had Russell in the grass and you couldn't get him on the ground, that number is in the 20s. And then when you factor in the sacks that Aaron created for other guys to get Russell on the ground, we're talking 25, we're moving up to 30. So he is just a dynamic player, but had a chance to talk with him years ago about playing Russell Wilson. Why do you go to a different level? It was more so because I have to. He is the white whale when it comes to quarterbacks. If you don't get to Russell Wilson in time, he's going to beat you on the other end. Even if you do beat a guy with a clean beat, anything that would be a sack versus the mere mortal quarterbacks of the world, you may hit nothing but air, and it results in a positive play for the Seahawks. So just as frustrating as playing against Aaron Donald and what he does to you, Russell Wilson can do that to you in spades. So these two guys going head-to-head, it's always worth the price of admission. It's a lot of fun. It reminds me of Warren Sapp versus Brett Favre back in the day, two Hall of Famers. Now, Tony Dungy had a great quote when he was talking to Warren Sapp about playing the Green Bay Packers. He said, "You have Favre, we have the Packers." So I would say the same thing to Aaron. Russell Wilson is yours, Aaron. The Seahawks belong to the Rams. Let's hope Aaron Donald wins all his matchups today.
Good stuff, DeMarco. That was really well said. And as he was giving us that breakdown, Maurice, I thought about the fact that he's got a new running mate up front. For the first time this season, he'll have A'Shawn Robinson at his side. What does that mean for the Rams' defensive front?
I thought that was one of the best pickups in free agency this offseason. You have a guy that is notoriously known for stopping the run and can collapse the pocket from the inside. It allows the Rams to kind of create a box around Russell Wilson. It allows Aaron Donald to freestyle a little bit more to get there, because you have a guy that has to be accounted for in both the running game and the passing game, along with Michael Brockers. That A'Shawn Robinson playing right now puts the Rams defense to another level, another notch against stopping the run, which forces obviously you to throw the ball if you can stop the run. Aaron Donald, like DeMarco said, Russell Wilson is yours, my friend. Have at it.
All right, so you get a veteran on the interior. You get a rookie back on the back end of your defense. Back in center field, Jordan Fuller, who's the second highest rookie in the entire NFL, according to Pro Football Focus, despite only playing 3 full games for the Rams so far this season. Let's talk a bit more about this rookie class. And as we look ahead to the second half, they've had a week to kind of get their bearings, to regroup, to evaluate their play thus far. And when you look at the top of the 2020 group, whether it's Cam Akers or Van Jefferson or Terrell Lewis, who do you look for to make the biggest impact in the next 8 games for the 2020 Rams?
To me, it's Terrell Lewis. And a lot of people say, well, why not the offensive guys? They were drafted, early, high on. Well, you have depth there. You don't really need them to come in. Yes, if they play, it's icing on the cake. It's the cherry on top. But Terrell Lewis is a substance that you need an outside linebacker, the guy that can set an edge, add some other type of pass rush, be a guy that needs to be accounted for by the other offense. He needs to come on and play well. Now, he had a little success. He had some success against the Giants. The defense played well against the Dolphins. Awesome. Now it's time for you to take it to another level. When I scouted him out of Alabama, I thought that he was a late first rounder with his ability to stop the run and at the outside linebacker position, and his ability to rush the passer. Now, he's not a dominant pass rusher. You don't need to be. You have Aaron Donald. We just need you to make sure that you don't allow the quarterback out of the front end of the pocket or out of the back end of the pocket and get your sacks that way.
Both he and Leonard Floyd were listed with minor injuries coming into today. Questionable, but they are active and ready to go. Again, the Rams enjoying tremendous health coming off their bye week. All right, let's meet the fourth member of our team here at SoFi Stadium, Serena Morales. We mentioned it is a Salute to Service Sunday, and she has more details about the wonderful servicemen and women we're honoring and connecting along with their families here against the Seahawks. Serena?
Thanks, JB. That's right. Today's game day theme is Salute to Service, and I am in the 200 section of SoFi Stadium. Usually I'm down in the end zone, obviously, but for today, and I hope you're able to get this view. If not, hopefully you'll get it on the broadcast while you're watching today's game. The 200 section actually has special cardboard cutouts of our military members, of some veterans, and from our local veteran organizations throughout Inglewood and throughout California. And so there's special cardboard cutouts just for those guys today, those men and women who have been serving our country. But yes, in totality, it does look like a U.S. flag. So very, very cool thing to just check out during the broadcast. Another very cool thing the Rams have done this week that you can check out on therams.com. Imagine this, guys, playing Madden on that video board, on the massive video board that makes up SoFi Stadium that you can't really miss. Morgan Fox and Austin Corbett earlier this week, with two heroes from the Wounded Warrior Project, played Madden on that sucker, and it was just the coolest experience. I mean, that's something that I would love to do some point, but very cool experience to do that for Salute to Service, as well as the Rams actually went to the U.S. Vets in Inglewood and had a beautification project where little elbow grease, little love, painted and upgraded some of their furniture to their home. That was all part of, again, the Rams Salute to Service week. And I would like to give a special shout out to DJ Malski, who is a vet from the U.S. Air Force, and you can probably hear his music in the background. So a shout out to DJ Malski as he's keeping this game rocking and rolling. JB, how about you guys keep rocking and rolling too?
All right, Serena, yeah, we love DJ Malski. Boy, what he brings to this stadium in terms of atmosphere. He and Sam Lagana both love both of those gentlemen. All right, obviously the team, Sean McVay and the Rams, are locked in on this matchup against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. But we can take a higher view of the rest of the second half of the season and notice that 5 division games remain, which means so much is left to be decided in the West. Maurice, if I were to ask you, aside from today, which NFC West contest are you looking forward to most? Week 12 against the Niners, the rematch. 13, the first of 2 meetings against Arizona. 16 at Seattle, or Week 17 here to close out the regular season at SoFi Stadium against Cliff Kingsbury and the Arizona Cardinals. Where are you going?
I'm going to go with going into Seattle. I think if you're going to win the NFC West, you have to win in Seattle, and that's important. Russell Wilson, again, playing well. Depending on what you do today, if you handle your business today and you come out victorious, I believe, again, like we said earlier in the broadcast, that the Rams match up so well against the Arizona Cardinals that you kind of go in expecting to play well in that game. You expect Aaron Donald to get to Kyler Murray. You expect Jalen Ramsey and them to play well. You expect Jared Goff, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp to have their day. Maybe even Tyler Higbee to have another performance like he did last year. But to go into Seattle and win, that is how you win that's how you win this division. That's how you put your stamp on the league saying, we're for real, we're ready to go.
I know we use this expression too much, but this is a must-win for the Rams.
Oh, yes.
In part because of what it means for their season and their hopes. In part because Seattle plays the Thursday night game at home against Arizona next. If Seattle can win 2 games here in 5 days, they'll have some separation over the West. It's going to be very hard to track them down. But let's say the Rams win here today. Then they jump to the top spot in the West. And I think this race will come all the way down to Week 17 when they're here in the finale against the Arizona Cardinals. Let's go get DeMarco Farr's thoughts. Which one do you have your eye on, DeMarco, down the stretch against the NFC West?
Well, I kind of agree with Mo. I mean, I think going back to Seattle is always going to be tough. I mean, it's always tough to play there, period, but I think a lot's going to be riding on that football game. And again, you have to even the score with San Francisco, if not for a playoff race, just to even the score for what happened up there the first time. And then you have to start with Arizona. And look, Kyler Murray is not going away. This is going to be a tough series, a tough 2-game stretch with them. But I think it could come down to what happens in Seattle to depend on what happens in the Rams for the Rams in the postseason. But it's going to be tough. But I agree. If you don't like the term must win, then this is a gotta have it day for the Rams. You have got to come away with a victory over Seattle today.
Yeah, DeMarco, I kind of agree with you. I mean, as we've all just said, you've got to get this win against the Seahawks. I think this really just shows who the Rams are. Can they be the top in the NFC West? We always talk about the NFC West being the toughest division for good reason. The Seahawks just coming off their 2nd loss this season. And again, I think the Rams have a very tough and difficult schedule moving forward. So if they can get the win today, moving forward, give them that momentum, I think they're off to a good start for the second half of this season.
All right, Serena, it is a gorgeous Sunday afternoon here in Inglewood. Temperatures right around 80 degrees. The air quality is phenomenal. Just the type of day you expect for the Seahawks and the Rams. Let's go around the horn one more time before we're done on this Rams pregame show. We're still looking for the first defensive touchdown of the year for the 2020 Rams. Give everyone a chance to pick a player to score that first defensive touchdown. Maybe it's today against the Hawks.
Hey, I'm going to go with the Bruin. Kenny Young, and only because my Bruins played today earlier and they were victorious against Cal, I think you get a little bit of that juju coming on because it was right down the road in Pasadena. Kenny Young with a scoop and score off of Aaron Donald's sack fumble.
All right, DeMarco, you can go next. Who you've got scoring the first defensive touchdown of the year?
I'm going John Johnson III. He was almost there. I think he could have outran Russell Wilson to the end zone, but he slowed down way back in the day. But look, if anybody's going to benefit from pressure in the front end, it's going to be a back-end safety catching a balloon ball. So if you step in front of one, if Russell lets one go before he's ready and you get in front of one, take that thing to the house. I'll go with John Johnson III.
Of course, Maurice took a Bruin. Like, he's so biased and always talks about Kenny Young. I'm actually going to go with Darius Williams, who leads the Rams in interceptions. He's got 2 this season. Clutch interceptions, might I add. So why not have this underdog, kind of underappreciated? I don't think Rams fans appreciate this man enough, but I know the defense does. Why doesn't he get an interception and then take it to the house? I'm putting my money on Darius Williams this season.
Those are all good calls. I think they've got a chance. I'm going to go with whoever is ready and willing and able to scoop up the strip sack that Aaron Donald creates, knocking out of the hand of Russell Wilson. I think 80-99 is going to be too preoccupied chewing on the opposing quarterback, but someone else is going to have an opportunity to fall on one in the end zone or maybe pick it up and take it the distance. My gut said Michael Brockers, but since it's A'Shawn Robinson's debut, if it happens here today, I'll go with the former Detroit Lion making his L.A. debut.
That's going to be a lot of running for him. I think more than he's ever done in his life.
No, it's when they're all the way backed up.
Okay.
It's after Johnny Hecker pins them inside their own 5-yard line. Russell drops to his goal line or maybe his own end zone. 99 is at his door, as he always is when the Rams take on the Seahawks. Well, it's so great to be here at SoFi Stadium. The schedule tips towards Inglewood here in the second half of the season. As you know, the Rams play 5 of their final 8 here at SoFi Stadium. Hoping to take advantage, hoping to stay undefeated in their new palace against the Seattle Seahawks. That's it for our pregame show on this Salute to Service weekend. Again, kickoff is coming up for a national audience on Fox at 1:25. You can also catch it on 710 ESPN here on Los Angeles or on Jack FM with DeMarco, Maurice, and myself on the call. Thank you for being with us on social and digital challenges, on channels that is, and the Rams are looking forward to their kickoff against the Seahawks coming up momentarily.